So normally it's like the vegetarian lifestyle sometimes, especially in anywhere, it's sometimes can be very difficult. Like with me, sometimes if I happen to go someplace and I need to buy, so let's say for instance I go to a restaurant, I need to buy something, I need to make sure that I'm getting a vegetarian meal. So when I ask for things in keeping with a vegetarian lifestyle, there's always someone to say, so why are you a vegetarian? What is it about vegetarian? Because besides that, there are so many sort of restrictions in terms of what we can and what we cannot eat. So there's always someone who is gonna ask you, what is the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan? Because I am saying I'm a vegan, so then because I need to make sure that I'm getting the right things to eat and not eating the wrong things to violate my vows. So I would say, well, a vegan diet is comprised of three things, three different sections. You have a lacto-avo-vegetarian, who those people who eat dairy products and eggs and things like that. Then you have the lacto-vegetarians who just eat, who they eat dairy but avoid eggs. Then you have also the vegan vegetarian like myself and most of us, that we don't eat any animal products and we try to stay away from it altogether. So there are several other specific diet and eating lifestyles that fit into one of these categories and typically associate with a vegetarian lifestyle. For instance, microbiotics, like raw vegetables. And there are some people who actually just, they don't cook their food, they just buy the vegetables, clean it, and eat it raw, because they think that they get more nutrients from the vegetables when it's like that. So now, how do we become a vegetarian? Some people become a vegetarian gradually, while others, like myself, I just came a vegetarian just like that, one time, without any instruction, anything. I just thought, well, something is not right here. I know all these animals, I'm taking care of them, and then I have to eat them. So, and I was so little, but so I just stopped. Yes, it was difficult because if you have ever lived with your grandmother, your grandmother is in charge, not our mothers. So when the food is on the table and she's gonna take, it's not like the United States. We used to get licks, okay? They beaten. So she say you have to eat. So I took my licks and I didn't eat because I just didn't think it's right. So just to let you understand how this worked, like my grandmother was this type of person that we had all type of animals, and she gave every one of those animals a name. And if you have ever seen a chicken or fowl hatch eggs, and the eggs turn into chickens, and sometimes let's say that chicken hatch 12 chicken, she'll give each one a name, and as they grow they change color and all sort of things. And even though when they become big, she still knew exactly which one is which, and when she called they used to come to her. Okay, then when I was going to school, and especially the geese and the ducks, once that bus dropped us down, it's like maybe about 150 meters from the house to the road, and they will just stay there and waiting. They know exactly what time the bus is gonna come, and if as soon as I get off the bus, you'll see them coming, running down. So because my job was to take care of them in the morning before I leave for school, I had to wash down, and the yard was paved and fenced. So once we are done, we open the gate and they go out and have lots of land to roam all day. So I found it very difficult to kill and eat those things afterwards. So that's I don't know why, but I just made that decision. So anyhow, so if you can't become a vegetarian or vegan overnight, you might find that you can eliminate one animal product at a time. Let's say when he came to the temple to receive the blessing, when we came to the temple to receive the blessing, we were asked to be a vegetarian for the day, yes, or 3 meals. So, and if we had any meat in the morning or the night before, we sort of make it up the next day. Okay, so it's a practice. It's not like we are saying when you become a member of the Tao that you have to become a vegetarian, but it is probably the most important thing, because if we are not vegetarians, it's likely that we're gonna have to come back on this earth. So it's so important that we become vegetarians, and once we are vegetarians, our virtues become greater. Right. So if we try one meal at a time or one day in the week, and then expand it until we are completely vegetarian, then we'll be able to, achieve those goals. So we should stay away from eating animals that creep, animals that fly, and mammals that swim. Because if we don't, later on we're gonna have to pay back for it, and we never know when. Okay, so it's very important. And hope I'm not incorrect, but I think the vegetarian vow is probably, we call it the Buddha's vow, and one of the greatest vows. So if we are not vegetarians yet, next time around we should try to take that vegetarian vow. Right. So another way we could actually become a vegetarian easily is by connecting with vegetarians or vegan groups. There are many of them all over. So all we have to do is just try to get in touch with them and get ideas. They will share things like recipes, because most likely it will be a new vegetarian or vegan's problem about eating. So once you have those contacts, you'll be able to know how to prepare your food, and move on from there and become a good vegetarian. But it's so easy, because every Sunday, once you come to the temple, the meals here are so fantastic. All right, so that we could learn, and then you also have an opportunity to learn, to volunteer to go to the kitchen, and even though you would not be cooking, but you will be.
Let me add one item here. We're going to have a class to teach people how to cook. It's going to be, I think we should make sure the class we match the same time as they do. They're going to have a cooking class. We're going to have this second class of the Sunday. So once in a while we're going to have a cooking class. Somebody's going to teach us how to cook, so we can learn together.
How to be good vegetarian.
Make sure that when they have a cooking class, let's go together doing we'll do translation, take some pictures, so we can put on the menus in the future. So we can help on that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we already have a schedule there for cooking class. So usually we do in the afternoon. Right now we think about we were going to do it in second class on the Sunday once in a while. So everybody's here. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. So if we are not yet vegetarian, will you consider becoming a vegetarian? Anybody who's not yet a vegetarian? Anyone?
Learning, trying.
I guess that silent mean everybody here are vegetarians. Ladies? All right. It's okay. Next slide.
But is egg a vegetarian?
Egg?
Eggs.
No.
Egg and
Remember
cheese.
it. No.
Technically, it is vegetarian, but it's
They're not vegan.
Vegan.
They're not vegan.
Yeah.
Those are dairy and
Dairy. Yeah.
There's lacto,
Lacto ovo vegetarian.
egg,
Yeah.
lactose,
Let me put
dairy.
this way. I remember when I became a vegetarian at that time, it could be 18, 15 years ago, At that time, we can eat egg and honey or milk at that time. Okay. Once people become Tamil master, lecturers, holy teacher in those kind of classes, holy teacher emphasize in those positions. Our members should be avoid any animal product like milk, honey,
Yeah.
and
So,
also
yeah. But yeah.
eggs. Yeah. So at that time we saw. But once we start to change that, adjust that, it doesn't have to be say, okay, I got to cut it tomorrow. Okay, it takes time.
To-
Do
yeah.
it gradually.
Gradually,
Tradition.
yeah.
Go
Yes.
ahead.
There are meals that are served with certain things to give you the taste of beef, chicken, or that kind of thing. Right? I mean, if you're vegetarian, why would you want to eat those things? Why would you want to taste the chicken? Why would you want to taste beef? Why would you want, I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Well, see, the thing is that our palate, right? Our taste, that is what us human is trying to satisfy. So sometimes because meat in general do not have any taste. It's what we put in it, the sauce and so forth, and the seasoning that give you that taste. So even though you are eating it raw like a carnivore, it's still tasteless. So as humans, we sort of eat these things to satisfy our taste, right? At the moment, so we add these things. And it's not that we are saying that you're doing it because you are missing the meat per se or the fish per se.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, ideally, those are really intended for people who are non-vegetarians to kind of wean them off of meat. I mean, because something that they're used to, right? Because a lot of people, they're not willing to, say, give up that taste or whatever, the texture and
Yeah.
all these things. And so you have to make something that's, non-meat and
Attractive
that,
for people.
that for them, that they're willing to try it.
So they could transition.
But once, you're right. Once we are vegetarian, we really shouldn't eat those things. I mean,
We
because
should crave.
yeah, we
those.
should
Yeah,
crave
we
it.
shouldn't crave
Right,
it,
the
yeah.
flavors.
The reason,
Right.
interesting reason here. Okay, holy teachers say one thing. Because when people try to become vegetarian in the beginning, they try that. Vegan chicken, vegan steak, all this stuff, right? And then holy teacher mentioned one time. Because some businessmen, they add something into it. The real chicken inside, so some stuff. We didn't know that. So sometimes you feel it's kind of you're eating veggie chicken, veggie steak. Right? It's a little bit. It's not pure at all on those stuff. So holy teacher said, ask
The limit.
us to avoid whoever make the vegetarian walk, avoid those stuff because they are not really pure. For businessmen, at certain things just let you feel you're still eating those stuff. We try to avoid that as much as we can. So good one, good question.
Yeah. Okay. So typically the word vegetarian or right? Thank you. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, comment. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that soy and the gluten and the grains and the beans and the sugar and the chemicals that are in a lot of the veggie meats and even eating soy, the soy is more detrimental to us as we are composed mostly of bacteria and parasites and the human body.
Yeah.
And so those things don't agree because they have lectins. And so we're eating these things that are more detrimental than maybe eating, in a way that maybe our ancestors were eating. So anyway, I just wanted to say soy and grains.
That's
and-
very
Well,
good.
it's basically, you're talking about processed
Yeah.
food.
Food,
basically.
yeah.
Any
Yeah.
kind of processed
Yeah.
stuff.
Anything.
Soy,
Yeah.
soy,
Yeah.
and even fruits.
Yeah.
The plant has its own protection, and it wreaks havoc on the human or the insects or bugs that are eating it. Even our fruits, we're not meant to. Plants, like the animals can defend themselves and we can, but the plants do also. They are masterminds at warfare to knock the insect will eat it and the insect will get paralyzed, and us too. it knocks us out, and it's wreaks a lot of havoc in our systems, because we're not meant to eat that.
Yeah.
So it's like even like lesser than even, it's not only about just not eating an animal, but also we have to respect the plants that have those poisons that are not agreeable to us, to our structure, to our human nature. So it goes beyond compassion for only the animals, but we have to understand the plant is giving a fruit or something that has its own protection to knock us out, to cause.
Well, I've never heard any study that says eating a fruit will kill you. So,
You can read plant paradox,
but it doesn't matter. I
and
mean,
then you'll learn.
No,
But
plants do have.
they have
but-
certain
Yeah,
protections,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it doesn't
but-
really, I mean, that's,
but yeah, I mean, no, plants, you can say have toxins, but they have some kind of protection, they do protect.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
that's-
Yeah, that's-
Against
that's
insects and
evolution.
so forth.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Because they have
yeah.
to defend
Right.
against
The
bugs
insects,
Right.
yes,
that eat
yeah.
their,
The-
leaves,
the-
whatever,
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
We
whatever.
were tree rats,
No,
so
but-
we're kind of insect and
No,
rat.
but,
We're not.
but it's, it's a matter of degree, it's a matter of
Yeah, yeah.
degree. So, but you can't deny, just like the meat lover says, oh, meat's healthy for you. But the fruits contain vitamins and minerals
Yeah.
that also humans require,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you instead of eating from meat, you have to eat it from something,
Some-
right? I
yeah.
mean, in other words, we humans cannot generate our own vitamins
And minerals.
like some dogs. Dogs they don't have to eat plants. I mean, or cats. Whatever. They can generate their own certain vitamins. You know
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Based on eating
Eat it,
or whatever.
meat, yeah.
But we humans can't.
No.
We humans by ourselves can't. So we have to eat something. Okay. So the question is, comes to, well, who do you choose, right? You have two choices. I mean, you could choose to eat nothing. Okay, and then you starve. That's fine. That's your choice. But if you want to live, survive, i.e. survive,
Yeah.
you have two choices, right? You have two choices.
Yeah.
Either animals, or plants, right? You can eat dirt. You can try eating dirt. That's fine too. Or air. That's fine. But I don't think that works. But anyway, some people think it works, but I don't think it works. But anyway, some people might still think that. But anyway, you have two choices. So then the choice comes down to which is the, if you really want to be very extreme, it's basically lesser of two evils, right? If you want to be extreme in that respect, the lesser of two evils, you either kill a sentient being, an animal, and survive, or you quote unquote kill a plant, take a plant, and survive, right? So which is the lesser of two evils? Which is the lesser? I mean, let me ask you, which is the lesser? Right, exactly.
Okay. Well, however,
That's the answer to your,
see, but
to your statement.
the word vegetarian describe the food that we as human consumes, okay? But a vegetarian actually have a lifestyle that determines on what our diets really are, because you become a vegetarian not just because we are in the temple, but our health is very important. So we have to be very cognizant of what we're eating every day. So, and meat is not one of the things that we should be thinking of consuming because it's just not good for the human body, right?
Come back to you missed
See?
the point of animals are sentient beings.
Yeah.
Plants are not
Well,
sentient beings.
I'm gonna get
Right,
to that
right.
later on.
So
Yeah.
that's why Buddha chose
Yeah.
to eat plants.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, certain plants are poisonous, obviously.
Yeah.
You eat those poison mushrooms, you're definitely gonna
You
grow.
gotta- yeah, yeah.
Hallucinogenic.
No, there's
Yeah.
not poison. There's no poison.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
hallucinogenic.
They do, yeah,
You
yeah.
can't just,
You can't, no,
categorize
no,
it.
no.
And certain plants, some plants are more deadly than others. But the question is, we don't eat those things. I mean, some people might eat poison mushrooms. I don't know. Some people might like eat certain mushrooms to get high. I don't know. Whatever. But the point is, most vegetables or fruits, I mean, unless you add pesticides, which are
Yeah.
naturally grown
Yeah.
by nature, are okay.
Yeah.
Not toxic to human beings. Okay, maybe toxic to bugs or insects or certain bugs or insects. Okay, like for example, dogs, they can't eat chocolate, right? We know
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
You feed
Because it
chocolate,
sticks
you
up
know,
to
which
the
is cocoa,
crown
which
of
is
the
which is
mouth.
cocoa
Yeah,
bean,
yeah,
which is
and
a
yeah,
cocoa
yeah,
bean, right?
yeah.
Cocoa bean. You feed cocoa bean to a dog, they'll get poisoned.
Poison,
That's
yeah.
toxin.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Right? So those is those examples. But by and large, most trees, most fruits are okay. I mean, by and large. I mean, yes, if you overdo it, yeah, you might have, you might get food poisoning or allergic reaction. Some people can't eat mangoes because they get allergic. Their mouth feels funny or something. I don't know, whatever, right? But those are all extreme,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so vegetarians strive all aspects of their lives to avoid animals and animal products, including clothing, cosmetic, household items, and of course food. All right, so even though we call the animals animals, they all have different names and so forth, but they are all the same just as us. Why? Because we all have the same Buddha nature. So why should we be killing those animals for food? Okay, so a vegetarian try to avoid those things. Therefore, the strict animal product free vegetarian diet is only a part of being vegan. For most vegans, the transition from a standard diet to their new lifestyle happen in stages. They can sometimes include stepping through a few less strict vegetarian diet and then stepping up the lifestyle changes once a strict vegan diet has been achieved. Vegetarianism is the practice of minimizing harms to all animals, which requires abstention from animal products such as meat, fish, dairy, eggs, honey, gelatin, lanolin, wool, fur, silk, suede, and leather. When we eat meat, we escalate the prospect of reincarnation. Killing and eating meat diminishes our virtues and escalate our karma and leads us to reincarnation. If we have not the proper virtues, it is very difficult for us to return to our original homes. Each time an animal is killed for food, we create an inescapable calamity on the human realm. Once we eat it, we become part of the problem. In the Tao, our vegetarian diet is unique to other vegetarians. Our Tao vegetarian diet is restricted from the pungent vegetables of onion, garlic, leek, chive, and tobacco. These vegetables are eliminated because they cause harm to the vital organs of the body. Some call vegetarianism a moral baseline for animal rights.
Question.
Yes.
Garlic is purported to be an antibiotic.
Okay.
Which one?
Garlic.
Oh, garlic.
Yeah. Yes.
So why is it not used?
Because it's pungent. See, right, okay, and it have this heat in it, okay, that it affects. You just said it affects the vital organs. Plus, what garlic? Yes, it could be it is an aphrodisiac and it is also an antibiotic, right? But after consuming garlic a lot, it creates something else. You become anemic and your blood gets very thin. If you notice, a lot of people who consume a lot of garlic, they always having heart problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come back to the talk about important thing. 王姐你在讲那什么东西伤什么肝伤什么，那个是最重要的。
Yeah, I think we know that tobacco harms the lung and garlic harms the heart.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
eat it.
Eat, yeah.
Also the scallion.
Yeah, yeah.
Scallion.
The kidney,
Yeah.
kidney,
Mm-hmm.
and they try
Chives
for
and
the
shallots. Probably
the liver,
spleen.
the
Yeah,
the
spleen.
spleen. Okay.
So
Well-
whatever we eat,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
outside, that's
Yeah.
what Dr.
Yeah, because the doctor, I mean, modern medicine
Science, yeah.
doesn't, this is talking from a different, this like from the Chinese medicine point of view, right? From talking about the energy, the qi in the body, okay? So it causes those harms. But obviously from Western medicine, they don't study it from
They
that
don't
point of view.
study.
They just look at what they can measure and experiment with and whatever. Yeah, it's true. Garlic and onion, they have, it's called, some compound which kills not just bacteria, it kills all sorts of living cells. Okay,
In the
so
body, yeah.
if you eat a lot, yeah, it's gonna screw up with your intestinal bacteria, flora, all that, and it doesn't just kill bad stuff; it kills good cells too. So,
Yeah.
all right, so that's one thing to know. So it's indiscriminate, but yeah, so in that sense, then yeah, it should be treated as a medicine. Okay, that you use it as a medicine, not just as food. Okay, so you shouldn't eat. I mean, you wouldn't eat aspirin like you would take normal food, right? So it should be treated as such because it has certain properties. But yeah, and so for people who have like cholesterol, thick blood, yeah, this can help thin the blood, and that's that's true. But if you're a vegetarian, you wouldn't have you don't have that cholesterol.
You don't have those
you
problems.
shouldn't have that
yeah.
problem. So there is no reason to eat the garlic.
Yeah.
Okay, so the garlic has a specific use. If we don't,
It's more from a medicinal point
yeah,
of view,
Yeah.
right.
or medical point of view.
Right.
But see, okay, so that's the external side. That's you can say, the things that can be quantifiable or measurable. Okay, you can say today medical, scientific.
Yeah.
So, but Buddha,
That's
doesn't
what I
look
want
at
to
it
say.
that way. Okay, doesn't look at it that way.
That's the other thing.
Okay, so we have to, we have to see, both sides. Okay, so from the other side, Buddha's talk. They call it the five pungent vegetables, or
Vegetable,
five
yeah.
pungent something, vegetables, whatever. Okay, so Buddha's looking at from the term of internal, which is that it messes up our passions. It stirs up our passions. Right?
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
in the Chinese, it's part of the I Ching, the five, the five elements or whatever. The I Ching. They talk about the qi, which is like the energy flow, or qi, energy, or forces, life force, whatever. So from Buddha's perspective, he's looking at it from the internal perspective, which says that if we take those five pungent vegetables, if we eat them raw, right? We can eat raw because they'll stimulate our passions. So if you eat, like certain, I don't know, if it's onions or whatever,
Yeah.
it makes you more angry or more prone to
it creates anger.
anger or something. I forgot. There's a whole bunch,
Yeah.
rage, something
Yeah.
like that. And then, but then if you eat them cooked, then it stimulates. It stimulates the senses, the desires, the desires.
Yeah.
So that's why it's considered aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
You get it? So from a Buddha perspective, because you gotta understand what Buddha is trying to aim for. He says our goal is to become a Buddha. Right. To become a Buddha. So how do you become a Buddha? You have to be very pure. You don't. You have to get rid of our passions, our desires, lust, right? The three poisons, all that, right? Greed, rage, lust, or ignorance. Like the 10 evils or 10 precepts, 10 cardinal sins. You have to get rid of all that in order to become a Buddha, right? So from a Buddha's perspective, anything that is a detriment or is an obstacle to that end, i.e., for example, such as eating those five pungent vegetables, is a detriment, is an obstacle. So you should not do it, right? So we should not eat that. Yeah.
Yeah, and garlic and onion and eating those pungents, they also can affect the brain. And then if you have something you really be conscious about and alert, it can.
Yeah.
And then also it can be deadly too. Garlic used to be used in the war, and the Italians were not very good aim, so they would dip their bullets in garlic, raw garlic. So when it would hit the person, they knew it would go in the bloodstream and kill them. And I've seen people almost die from drinking garlic shots. I can't even relate to it, but
And
anyway.
from the other thing, from Buddha point, for us for us, because during the cultivation period, one thing is very critical. Because why we become vegetarian, it's not just what we eat, what we think, what we do, very pure. The Buddha, to to that level, right? That's why we talk about purification, the sense of purification, very pure. So pure, the energy, even in ourselves, we don't feel, we don't see it. But from Buddha's sense point of view, we can smell it. They can even get close to us.
Yeah.
Okay? So you go, okay, we saw that car accident. We had somebody, Buddha had to come to save us. At that time, they couldn't get too close to us because the way our energy is different.
Yeah.
So those kind of stuff is all combination. It's just not one thing. So it's when we cultivate, we try to be as pure as possible. Our mindset, what we eat, what we think, what we do, very pure, very right. That's important to get to that level. I know it takes time to get there, but step by step, you get there. Once you don't eat, you get used to it. In the beginning, maybe you say, okay, it's hard, right? It's hard. But once we start to say, for example, I think a lot of people don't eat fish, don't eat the meat.
Yeah.
Once you go to the supermarket, you go to the last line of all those, you smell, it smells.
Yeah,
Don't want to take that smell,
yeah.
right? All days made it, okay, that's normal.
Yeah.
Today you say, okay, we don't want to walk in on that line, right?
Yeah.
So once you start to get used to those kind of smell, all those stuff, it becomes normal, you're accustomed to it. So it's not a
Okay.
Thank you.
Claudia, if you could think, because I'm kind of running late on time.
90%
So,
of the
yeah.
garbage is imported and it's gassed. It's quarantined and gassed with very extremely deadly poisons.
yes.
That's why it's in it.
Okay, so
Don't know.
So as a vegetarian, when we eliminate these foods, so the question would arise, well, what do we eat? So a vegetarian eat plant-based foods such as grains, beans, vegetables, fruits, and nuts. Vegetarians have a wide variety of foods to choose from. The diet may seem very restricted, but to those who are used to an omnivorous diet, most carnivores would ask, you just eat salad? No, we don't just eat salad. So, but most people, this is like a task for you, right? When you go out to a restaurant, just look at the food that is served. Most people get a salad with their meal, but they're not vegetarian because they know the salad is so important, so they're eating it. Yes, you're gonna find those people. Transmitter, when you go to Texas, you'll see this a lot. The potatoes and meat. That's it. That's all the food they're eating.
Go to Germany, you will see what they have.
Yeah.
Only morning, only
Sausage.
sausage and beer. That's it, right?
Yeah.
That's all
Right.
they eat in the morning, right? You see, everybody eating
Yeah.
sausage and beer. That's,
Right.
And the beer. That's
So-
it. Morning.
No. Now Germany, a lot of people.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you go to a certain area, just
No, that's the tradition.
tradition,
Yeah.
With my
Right.
brother, they-
And
a lot of
Ireland
people-
also.
but
Yeah.
I'm just talking about in general.
Yeah.
But more and more, it's going to be less. Yeah.
Okay. So we can also have a wide variety of Italian pastas, Singapore or Caribbean, Indian curries, Chinese stir-fry, Tex-Mex burritos, and even meatloaf. So you're speaking about that is made from textured vegetables. So yes, to go back to your question, why you eat it, but it's a dish that you call a meatloaf, and because you serving your palate, so you do different dishes. So sometimes you make a meatloaf, but there's no meat; it's just the name, right? But it's all made from vegetables. Okay, and this meatloaf has so much protein because of the beans. Many meat and dairy analogs are also not now available, including sausages, burgers, hot dog, chicken, and so forth. But as DAO members, we try to avoid those things because it's just like if you're eating the real stuff. Right? They have vegetarian cheese that are made from vegetables, all made without animal products. Vegetarian meals can also be rather simple and humble, such as the Caribbean style corn soup, Alright, and raw vegetable salad, animal product sometimes shows up in unexpected places. So that is one reason why we as DAO members should become very avid label readers. So when we are purchasing anything, we should read the labels to make sure that there's no animal products included. So we have to also be careful with products that has wheat, honey, carmine and vitamin D3 in foods that might otherwise expect to be vegetarian or labeled as vegetarian foods. Right?
Excuse me,
Yes.
can you repeat that last one you just said? Avoid
Whey, yeah.
WHEA.
W-H-E-Y.
Whey.
Yeah.
W-H-E-Y.
The H-E-Y. Huh?
There is plant whey.
Plant wheat, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying, to read the labels to
yeah,
make
yeah, you
sure.
have to check.
Right? We have to read the labels. Yeah. Huh?
Which,
Calumet, you said?
Carmine.
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 Yeah.
Carmine
And D3. Vitamin D3 is basically from fishes, right?
yeah, I mean, there's vegetarian stores for D3 too,
Yeah.
but most of it is like from shellfish,
Shell,
whatever,
yeah.
shell, you know.
And
but,
it's, yeah.
yeah.
But
Plus-
usually, let me put this way, vegetarian, it's good to have a food to balance our nutrition.
Yeah.
But I found that vegetarian, two things they are missing a lot of time. What's they missing?
B12.
B12 and
D,
The D.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's why I make up all those
Yeah.
areas, try to have the
Yeah.
nutrition. Because we don't get enough sunshine,
Yeah.
right? B, vitamin D, right? And certain food. So B and B12 we need it
Yeah.
to make up.
So and they are vegetarian B12
Yeah, vegan.
that is pure vegan that you could use. Yeah, you could no this wheat germ is
Well, yeah.
you could use, but it don't have enough to suffice.
So we buy vitamin,
body, so we
also
still
pay
need a little
attention.
addition.
Vitamin, not all the vitamins are vegetarian, okay?
Or, yeah.
Some of them are not.
Not
So
yeah.
we have to check.
Check.
Because some
Yeah.
vitamins are derived from shellfish,
Shellfish,
fish oil,
yeah.
like
We have to
D is
check.
usually
See,
fish oil,
yeah.
like omega.
Yeah.
And yeah.
They can check the also.
Yeah.
And it
And
is absorbed quicker to the hands. So you only need a few minutes in the palms. We're trying to get it on our body, it's different, but it absorbs easier.
yeah.
New chapter.
What?
Flax.
Well, the flaxseed is good. Yeah. Flaxseed and
Chai.
kiwa.
Quinoa,
Yeah,
quinoa.
yeah.
I know flaxseed oil.
Yeah.
Plus oil,
Hemp
Plus
oil,
oil.
Yeah.
I bought it.
is
Yeah,
the
plus
best,
oil.
and hemp oil.
Yeah. Plus is a very good one.
It's more, it's perfect for our systems, where other oils are not done.
Yeah.
When you go to the nutrition supplement store, look for new chapter. They usually have all kinds of supplements derived from plants.
I think can we do this way? Because I know we
New chapter.
Yeah, can we do this way? Because a lot of people might need help. Because she just talked about need help. Can we just put down small information there to share
Well,
with
okay.
everybody on email or anything?
Okay. So we
So
will.
they can go there together.
We work on
Much
it.
easier.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we think it's vegetarian.
Yeah.
We bought it, it's not. So sometimes we
Yeah.
still be careful. So if we knew that, we would help others.
I
Yeah.
have one point I
Yeah.
want to raise. To be a vegetarian, is it related with type, your blood type? Because I heard that type O, you have to have meat.
No.
Meat.
Type
Is
no,
that kind of
no,
meat?
because
No, I'm vegetarian with meat. I'm type O,
No, type
no.
O.
no,
Type of blood type.
no,
Never heard of it.
no. That's bad information.
Never heard of it.
It's fake news.
Bad information.
That's what it says.
I know.
People try to sell the product, they find all the way to.
I'm type O also.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. No, that's bad information.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess any
Okay.
Blood type is deficient in certain degree,
Certain, yeah,
Maybe-
yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
might be,
yeah.
yeah.
And then
A
you
little
just
bit.
So you need to
try
kind
to
of make up
find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Vitamin D, what's a good way to recover vitamin D?
D, get some more sunshine.
More sunshine, yeah.
Also carrots, right?
Yeah.
Carrots. are
See,
good
Virginia,
also.
so we'll work on a list,
Yeah,
right?
we can
Let's work on a
some.
list, and I'll just get stuff and send to you, okay? Alright. Okay, so guys, I'm really,
Okay, we only have 5 minutes.
yeah, I'm running really short on time, right? So if you hold your questions, and I know that I'm not gonna be able to finish today, but still ask afterwards, and then I'll be.
That's okay. You cannot finish.
Yeah.
Give a few minutes next week.
Yeah, we can
Finish
do
up
another
next week.
time.
Let's do that. The reason because when people have a question,
Yeah.
wait until next week. They
Yeah,
forget.
yeah, they're not gonna remember.
Because
Yeah.
this is a very good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
People, this is part of their daily life.
Yeah.
How do they become vegetarian? What do they eat? How do they? So we don't mind if we next week we give you a few more minutes
Yeah.
to finish. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we want to clear some of those questions.
If you ask me next week, I forget.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. But if you remember something now, you could just write it down, and then if it's something that was covered already today, then I'll answer afterwards. But
When
yeah.
I told my mom I want to be a vegetarian, my mom said, be careful because you don't know much about vegetarian, you might be deficiencies.
Well, that's good advice, but
Yeah.
then all you had to do was just research and see. Okay? Anyhow, but like, do you know that we are speaking about being vegetarians, right? And do you know that most animals, the majority of animals on earth are vegetarians? And the strongest ones are also vegetarian. The biggest ones are also vegetarian. But then, if we know that, why is it now that we as humans, not us per se, but humans are killing animals for food? Right? What?
Well, that's not true. That's not true. By weight, by weight.
No.
Kale
No.
is very light.
I'm gonna get to that later on, because this is real bad misinformation by meat eaters. Okay? Alright. So, but animals build all these muscles and so just from eating grain. What is it, at your own knowledge, what is the tallest or highest animal in the world today?
Elephant.
A giraffe, right? Okay? And look, what is the giraffe eating? Leaves. Okay? Vegetables in that case. The leaves, okay? So,
Long neck.
alright? And no, and I think the movie just came out about the War of the Apes, and the apes are there fighting with the humans, and the apes are so strong. And what are they eating? They vegetables, right? Fruits and vegetables. They, for the most part, right? And they're so strong. Okay, and we look at a hippopotamus. It lives in the water, but it's not eating the stuff that is living in the water. Okay,
What about whales?
Yes.
all right. So
What about lemurs and tree rats and like, what do they eat, these kind of animals?
Lemurs?
Huh?
Lemurs?
Rats, yeah.
well,
Opportunity.
They might eat
yeah.
it.
But you see.
That's these are animals.
I understand, but these are questions that we have to look at evolution. Okay, that they're like scavengers, and the earth, Mother Nature need sanitation. Okay, so that's their job. Okay, but just always remember that every time we eat those animals, eventually those same animals gonna come back to eat us. Eventually.
The other problem is we don't have enough merits to cover that. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because once we create more karmas, but we don't have enough merits
Yeah.
to cover that. We create more problems. We
Yeah.
don't make karma. That's the problem we are facing.
Yeah, but it creates karma because animals are sentient beings.
Yeah.
See, if you drink water, do you create karma?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Do you create karma? Well, karma by definition has to deal with, no, karma, that's why you have to understand what karma is. Karma is made up of two parts, two key parts. One is causality.
Yeah.
All causality.
Yeah.
So that's strict physics. You can say physics, you can say physics, causality, mathematics, that's what you can say. And then the other one is what? There's a Buddha nature involved, true nature involved. Understand? That's what karma means. Karma means. Scientists, physics, when they talk about causality, they talk about only material. You understand? Only talks about cause and effect, material. Right? One atom hits another atom, creates another, blah, blah, blah. That's only pure physical. Nothing to do with Buddha nature. Nothing to do. They don't know what Buddha nature is. But karma is causality, yes, plus the Buddha nature. So if you drink water, there is causality, but there's no karma. Understand? Understand? But if you kill a human being, if you kill an animal, there's
So you
causality,
causality
there's also
plus
karma.
karma. Yeah.
Get it? Okay?
I have a question. You know how vultures eat already dead animals? Does that cause any karma?
No, it still has karma.
Yeah, because the animal is a sentient being, right? And it has a Buddha nature, so it's creating karma. Yeah.
Because the body is already dead.
Yeah, but that's okay. But it's still eating a
Sentient being. Yeah.
Even though it's dead, doesn't matter.
The vulture has specific enzymes to break that down.
Yeah, that's true. They do. They have that. Yeah. No, so they also have. They're also immune to the germs.
To the toxic.
Toxins in rotten flesh. Rotten flesh, because the stuff it's going to get rotten. I mean, you have worms in there. God knows. I don't know. Whatever. Bugs. So they're immune to that. I mean, or their digestive system. Whatever. I mean, they're
They eat the ones in the side dish.
They can eat. No, they have, that's their nature. That's why they're.
All these guys are crazy.
That's why they're scavengers of the earth. Right? Certain animals are scavengers, certain animals are hunters, certain animals, whatever. Okay? So that's the way nature, creates this whole spectrum of beings, of animals, right? I mean, whatever. Yeah, plants, same thing, okay? So, but all right? But that's nature, right?
Yeah.
That's the way, you can say that's.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to add, I asked Virginia to help. We're going to have everybody talk about the Buddha's sense story. So Virginia is going to have some topic coming out. If you want to pick up the topic, you can search some material to share with us all stories. Sense of Buddha. May I take 15 minutes for the sense of Buddha? Okay? Yeah. Everybody.